Hello there. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, we want to look at a past exam paper, and we're going to look at a match test. In this match test, we are going to look at question 4, that is on hardware and software. So, our question reads: After the quotation presented by the school technician, this computer was recommended for the secretaries at the office. So, you're given details of the computer that you need to go through before you start to answer the question. So, first question reads, would you recommend this computer if the secretaries do more work at home than at school? And then the second part, what would you recommend? What computer would you recommend? Our question has got 2 marks. So uh, the first answer that we have in terms of the first part of the question is no, as we are seeing that this computer is big, but according to the requirements that are there, is that the computer has to be carried home and be used by the secretary. So if it's a heavy computer, it means it cannot be easily be carried from one point to the other. So it has no portability. So obviously it cannot be used. So that's no for the first part. Then what would you recommend? Obviously, a laptop is more appropriate as it can be easily be carried from one point to the other. So basically, that's what we have on the answer section, whereby we are saying on the first part we are saying no, and on the reason I would recommend a laptop as it is portable and they could take it home and complete their work without having to save documents and transfer them. So basically, the ones that we are referring to are the secretaries as they are being referred in the question. So basically, that's what we have on 4.1, 4.2. When using this computer, will the user be using a command line interface on information supplied? So you see that this is a Windows. This is a Windows as indicated here. So obviously, the correct response is going to be graphical user interface, and then on the reason we are saying is because it is a Windows, so basically like that. So you'll see that that is also what we have on our other section, as we are saying graphical user interface, and on the reason we are saying it is Windows. So we know that a graphical user interface, this is a digital interface in which a user interacts with graphical components such as icons, buttons, and menus, which is applicable in this regard. So basically, that's what we have. So we go to the next part of our question, which is 4.3. Write down the size of the hard disk space of the computer. So we go there and try to see where we can get the information of that space. But if you come here, you see that it's written 1 TB HDD, which in brackets we've got SATA. So obviously the 1 TB represents 1 terabyte. So we are saying the size that we are having there, we can just write it in front of there, whereby we are saying is one terabyte. We are saying 1 terabyte. So that is the size of the hard disk space. So that's what we have. Then 1024 bytes. Explain why this is not 1000 bytes. So basically a simple question whereby we are saying why is it not 1024 instead of 1000? So obviously uh, the correct response is that it's because the storage increases in power of 2. The storage increases in power of 2. For example, we've got 2 to the power of 2 giving us 4. We've got 2 to the power of 3 giving us 8. So we can try to put it down in our answer section so that we can easily get the explanation. So we are saying, yeah, on 4.3, we are saying it's because the storage increases the power of 2, and we are saying each giving us 4, and also we have 2 to the power of 3 giving us 8, and also if you go further, you see that if you say 2 to the power of 4, you get 16. So if you continue like that, when you reach to 2 to the power of, that's the reason that you can just keep. So this is leading us to where we want. That is when we get 1024. So you give said 2 to the power 10. So basically that's what we have on that part, and then we go to the next part of our question is saying what does the abbreviation SATA stand for? Obviously, this is a serial attachment. So we also present it in such a way whereby now we are saying this becomes 4.4. So on 4.4, we are saying, this becomes 4.5. This is 4.5. We are saying 4.5. We are saying SATA stands for a serial attachment. serial attachment. So basically, we are saying SATA stands for serial attachment. And we know that SATA, this is a technology used to connect storage devices like hard drives and solid state drives. That is our CCDs, to your computer motherboard. So basically, you'd see that SATA, it's a computer bus interface. So basically, that's what we have in terms of SATA. We go to the next part of our question, when we are by saying 4.7, what is the speed of the processor? What is the speed of the processor? So you see that the speed is 3.6 3.6 gigahertz. So we have got giga. Hertz is abbreviated as GH and the small z. So we have got 3.6 gigahertz being the speed of the process. So on the next part of the question, 4.8. This computer comes with Windows 10. It's operated one first question. What type of software is an operating system classified as? We see that the correct response that we say there is system software. So we're saying 4.8.1. We're saying system software. So we go to the next part of our question. What is open source software? That is OSS. What is open source software? So you see that open source software is a software that may be downloaded and shared. So the source code is made available and changes may be made and shared with others. So that's a open source software. We are saying is software that may be downloaded and shared. The source code is made available and changes may be made and shared with others. That's the explanation on open source software. So basically, that's what we have. Then we go to the next part of our question, 4.8.3. Name 2 possible disadvantages of using open source software. So you see that a disadvantage that are there for using the open source software is that it has limited features. It's one of them. It may contain viruses also. So we are saying on our answer section, this is now going to be our 4.8.3. Is that the first disadvantage that it has limited space. It is limited space. And then look at the second one, saying I may contain viruses. So basically, that's what we have on that part of our question, 4.8.3. So go to the next question, which is saying 4.9, discuss the 4 main functions of the operating system. Functions of the operating systems, we can also try to bring them down. We are saying functions of the operating systems. So we try to refer back. We are saying main functions of the operating system is indicated here, and our question has got 4 marks. So obviously, we state each function, and then we briefly describe the function. So each one is 2 marks. So we are going to discuss. So basically, that's what we have. So we can go through our answer section and try to bring them down. This is our 4.9. We are saying the first one. We are saying we are going to say look at file IO. On the first one, we are saying file IO. And remember, IO is standing for inside out. So you see that file IO controls and manages saving and retrieving of files from the hard drive, as well as other external storage media. So that's file IO. Then secondly, we have the device IO. Device IO. So on device IO, it controls and manages all different devices that are connected to the motherboard of the computer. So basically, that's device IO. Then we try to look at the next one, which is going to be the number 3. Process management. Process management. We can maybe try to process management. So on process management, it controls and manages all processes are taking place in the CPU. And the CPU, you know, that is a central processing unit. Then lastly, on the 4th one, we have the memory management. So on memory management, it controls and manages all forms of memory. It allocates memory available to different tasks. So you see that it manages the hard disk space. It manages the hard disk space. That is on the last part of our memory management. Then we move on to the next question, which is now 4.10. It was suggested that prices for the 3 different types of monitors be obtained first before purchasing? List the three different types. So the question needs us to identify types of monitors. Right? So let's try to identify them. So we're saying this is our 4.10, and we are looking for types of monitors. We're saying the first one, we are having the CRT. And the CRT is the cathode ray tube. So we are saying cathode. Then we go to the second one, which is now the LCD, which is the liquid crystal display. Then the third one, we've got LED, which is the light emitting diode. So these are the types of monitors that we have. So we go to the next part of our question, which is now 4.11. Tabulate two differences between SSD and a SATA. So obviously we are tabulating, which means we are presenting in the form of a table. So we can do a search whereby we are now on 4.11 and we try to bring it to a table. So if we refer back to our question, you'd see that it's the difference between SSD and SATA. So we can have a column for SATA and have a column for SSD. And then try to bring the difference down. So on the first one, we see that under SATA, it is movable parts. So we can say movable parts. Whereas under SSD, we are saying there are no movable parts, no movable parts. Then with that, we can close to say we've came up with the first difference that we have. Then we can go to the second one, where number 2, we are saying under SATA is magnetic. And if you look on the other end, SSD is electric. So this becomes the second one that we have. And then we go to the third one, where we are saying under SATA it is slow, and then SSD fast. So we are bringing out the differences. Remember, we've already raised the three differences, but our question only requires us to tabulate 2. So from the 3, we can just choose 2, which are more easier for you. So 4.1.2, and fully discuss the term biometric input and give 2 examples of it. Biometric input. So the first part is to discuss, and then you give 2 examples. So again, we go to our answer section and try to describe it in such a way. So we are saying this is our 4.1.2, and it's biometric input. Remember, we need to first describe. It uses devices. Use the devices that can identify a special human character. That can identify special so basically that's what we are saying. It uses devices that can identify special human character, special human character traits, and also it uses that to grant or deny access to systems. So we can just continue on description and say it uses it to deny or grant the access to systems. So that's a biometric input. So this is what we have in terms of biometric input. And then in terms of examples, we are saying examples. Examples that we have one. We've got the iris scanner. And then second example, we've got the fingerprint scanner. So basically, that's what we have in terms of the last part of our question according to this video. So thank you for listening. And please, let's not forget to subscribe and share to our channel. Let's not forget to share the link to our colleagues who are doing grade 10 IT. Remember, more typical examination questions are going to be uploaded on this channel. So let's stay tuned. Let's get notified. Let's subscribe. Let's turn on the notification button so that when there are new uploads, we get notified. Let's meet again in the next video. As for this video, I'm out.